One of the first freelancing jobs I did involved writing 60 unique stories for a chat story application. And if you do not know what chat stories are, they are bite-sized stories that are told in a text message format. So you make it seem as though two characters or more are chatting, and then a story unravels during the chat. And so I was to write 60 unique stories in different genres, from thrillers to mysteries, romance, horror, and I enjoyed writing them. But as I walked my way up through the batches of stories that I was to deliver, I started to become afraid. I was afraid that I was exhausting all the unique stories in my head, and that I was giving it out to someone else, and that my mind would not be able to conjure up any new story, any new and unique ideas. That fear has largely proven to be redundant because I still come up with unique stories every once in a while. And it got me thinking about creativity. It got me thinking about unique ideas. It got me thinking about the fear we have of saying and doing and writing something that has already been done. I remember one of the stories that I wrote was about a girl who received an organ from someone and took on the personalities of that person. And it's not a novel idea. I got the idea for that while reading a news article on people whose behavior changes after they get blood transfusions or organs. It was one of those weird science articles. The idea was not unique at all. There were few people, if those articles were to be believed, who had that life experience, but I thought that I was the only one that had made it into a thriller of sorts. And so when I found out later that there were movies with similar premise, I was taken aback, and it really made it sink in for me that there's no unique idea. There's very rarely any unique idea. There's very rarely anything that we're going to see that has not been said. So why tell a story? Why do anything that has already been done? Because that is what nature does, and we are nature. There are about 8 billion people in the world, and most of us look structurally alike, right? We look structurally alike, but each one of us has value. Each one of us is inherently valuable. Each one of us have life experiences and unique experiences that makes us interesting, that makes us exciting, and in our own way. And so that is why we must not hold ourselves back from telling stories that have already been told. I think that it is in the process of constant reiteration that uniqueness comes about. What I mean is that for the most part, most people look structurally the same, but every now and then, in the mundanity of the human creation, in the mundanity of the creation of humans, nature throws a curveball. Nature comes up with a curveball, like in cases of heterochromia iridium, where people have different colored irises, maybe even vitiligo, or one of those rare traits that maybe 1 in a billion people have, or 1 in 100 million people have. So what does that mean for us as creatives? It means that we should not be afraid of saying what has already been said 1,000,000 times, because nature is not ashamed or afraid to do the same. Nature always does the same. Nature repeats herself a lot, and so we must. And it is in the process of repetition that we have the chance to come up with uniqueness. It is in the process of repeating what has been said either by ourselves or other people that we have the chance of true uniqueness. In addition, the way that I express myself would differ from the way anyone else expresses themselves, and in turn will appeal to various sets of people, various kinds of people. So say there were like 10 different creatives asked to talk about a particular topic, they're not going to appeal to everyone. Someone is going to hear your own expression, explanation of a topic that has been told 1,000 times, and it is finally going to click for them. So that is why we should still say and do and tell the same stories, and express ourselves on topics that have been told 1,000 times, because there's someone that's going to listen to it and finally it will make sense. They might have been hearing the same ideas over time, but it is your own explanation that is going to finally make it sink in. So it doesn't matter that it has been told 1,000 times. It doesn't matter that everyone else has said it. Your own way of saying it still matters. That will be all for today's video. If you would like to see more on topics like this, please like and subscribe, and I would see you in my next video.